perfumes. And a look at these roses will automatically help you, automatically make you to thank God. Such a variety of roses are there in this world, and you don't feel like moving out of this room. He said, oh, next room, many more, much more to see. And when we moved into the next room, it was a big room, a lot of people. They got all the masks and gowns and everything, only their eyes we can see. It was a fully dust-proof room. And these people were picking up one rose after another. And what they were doing is, they were examining the roses individually to see whether there is any blemishes, anything that will prevent a good perfume to be made. So they are experts. I do not know how they ascertain or assess the flowers, but then they were individually checking each flower. And if they find any small blemish, they just throw it out, simply. And only these flowers which have passed through this check goes to the next room. And in the next room, things are a little different. These selected flowers, what they do is, they start plucking all their petals one by one, carefully, and the stalk alone they throw off. So now what was a great feast to our eyes, these flowers are all converted into a mass of petals. We feel sad, but then that's the process the flower has to undergo. When you move into the next room, the scene is still worse. These petals that are removed from these flowers are being put into machines, grinders. And then it goes on from one to another, one to another, one to another. And then you look sometimes into these machines, you don't see any flower, you don't see the color, you don't see the form, but you see it all crushed up, made into a pulp, from solid to liquid form. It just getting crushed and being moved. And as it is being passed from one room to another, from one pipe to another, at the end of the factory, you see a small tube. We call it a capillary tube, the smallest tube. And somebody is placing a bottle at the end of it. Once in 5 minutes, a small drop falls into that tub. And wait for some time. This rose is being converted into a perfume. What happened was, the guide who was taking us around took one drop and put it on my friend's shirt. And he said, this smell is going to last for days together. And I hope my friend has never washed his shirt after that, wanting to keep it as a, as a reminder. One of the persons who came with me asked this man, you have taken this perfume, they take it in a very small bottle and then seal it, and it is being kept ready for being exported all over the world. He said, how long it will last? How long this fragrance, how long this smell will last? And that man told, if you have not opened the seal, it can last for any number of years. And he said, it's being manufactured in Pondicherry, a small town in southern tip of India, and it's going to be exported all over the world. It's going to make people's lives better. At least the smell, is going to make their lives a little better. That is the story of my visit to that perfume factory. But when I remembered this word, Jesus, or God claiming the rose of Sharon, and equated with the process that the rose went through to offer itself as a fragrance to people who need it, I could understand the depth of the meaning when the Lord proclaimed, I am the rose of Sharon. You know, mankind needed a perfume. We need perfume to get the smell of the sweat or dirt in our body. But then we move with our sinful nature. That's not only causing problems to us, but causing problems to all our neighborhood, to this humanity in total. And what can take away the stain unless there is a perfume that will take away our sin-stained soul? So for this, we need something special. You know, so many people, we may have in our gardens rose flowers. We all know that. When it blossoms, it looks very fine. For a day or two, it gives its fragrance. Maybe it will give a fragrance to our home and probably to a few of our houses in the neighborhood. That's it. After a few days, they just wither away. We don't get the scent anymore. Nobody gets any benefit out of it. It lasts for a time, maybe a week or 10 days. Some good varieties, maybe a fortnight. That's all. And then it fades away. As long as the rose remains in the rose form, that's all it can give. There are so many roses which have come in the world scene. They have given fragrance to their own community, or probably a little more for a little time, and all that is good. But not a rose has been there in the world which can stand for as long as the humanity stands, and which can give fragrance to not only to the neighborhood but to the uttermost parts of the earth, east to west, north to south. It has to be a special rose. And the special rose was promised by God when the first man sinned. When Adam sinned and brought the curse of sin to all humanity, passed it on, God at that time itself, he said, I am going to send a remedy that will take away the sins of this world, sin of mankind. A promise, behold, I will send my Messiah. A woman, the seed of a woman, will crush the head of the serpent which has caused this sin. So God has promised. It is like a gardener putting a seed in his garden with a promise that it will grow into a tree and will produce and blossom and will bring forth a flower which, when it goes through certain process, will be the remedy for the sins of the mankind. And when Jesus was born 2000 years ago, now people compare Jesus to so many great religious leaders, great many people who have influenced sections, vast sections of society. But we must always remember there's yet a person who is to influence people from all over the world. So many people claim their leaders to be very special to their own countries. Back in India, we say, anything we talk about Christ, they say it's a foreign God. We have our own. They have their own community leaders who have influenced them. We praise God for all such leaders. Everybody has brought their fragrance. Everybody has contributed to the, to the welfare of their society, but for a short while only. For a short while. But who has? You visit any continent, any spot on this earth, any country, there will be always some people who said, who can say, who can testify that this rose of Sharon is the one which has taken away the stink of my stain. So this rose has to be special. It has to be special. It has planned. Actually, the rose plant was planned by God himself, the great gardener. And after he put the seed, he said,